Growing up in the South, nobody tells you anything about trauma, especially being Black. All right. Lost my mother at an early age, didn't know my father. He got killed when I was a baby. My great-grandmother raised me. She was a really, really stern person. She treated me in a way that I guess that she had been treated. And the day I left Arkansas, 1985, got on a bus and ended up in the Tenderloin, which I thought the first 20 years of my life was hell. But life was telling me, you ain't seen shit yet. So the next 20 years was hell on wheels. Only thing I knew was hate and anger. 1998, I ended up going back to jail. I was looking at a life sentence. And I promised God, whom I didn't believe in, but I promised him if I got out of it, I would never go back to selling drugs. I started wanting to know what it felt like to be somebody, to have somebody that my son was proud of. One day I was at work at Home Depot. I decided I wanted to get clean. I had a vicious cocaine habit. I had it for 20 years. I came to Marion County, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. And one day I went to Ritter Center. I was like, yeah, where else I'm going to go? I'm homeless. So finally I went to Ritter Center. I was just a bitter person. And so one day I had a fight at Ritter Center, and I thought, well, I'm going to jail today, so these people, they just gonna throw me away just like anybody else. And so that day, Sia Burns, she didn't turn me away. She just walked up to me and hugged me. And every time I talk about that, it shakes me up because that she saved my life. Because all my life, nobody ever showed me affection, not good affection. The only affection I ever got was either somebody beating me or somebody raping me. And Sia just held me and told me, I'm not going to turn you away. Don't worry. So I started learning to trust a little bit. And so I would go to Ritter Center every day because they actually started treating me, they started seeing me. And Ritter is the reason today why I'm still here. Because if it had not been that day when Sia held me and told me everything was going to be okay, she wasn't going to turn me away, I don't know what I would have done, but I know it wouldn't have been good. That's the secret right there. Butter. Mm-hmm. I'm Sandi McMillian. I live San Rafael. It's where my journey started of healing and learning to love myself. It took a few years for me to realize that I was actually getting better and I was actually starting to be a good person. I started loving myself because I didn't know when people said you need to learn to love yourself. I didn't know they meant that means you take care of yourself too. You make sure that you're healthy. You make sure you're sane. You make sure that you're okay. And if you're not okay, it's okay for you to tell somebody you're not okay. Nobody had ever told me those things. But Ritter Center taught me that it was okay for me to love myself. I said, and I prayed this morning because I was so lonely and I just didn't know what to do. And God told me to cook and go feed people. And so that's what I did. So I got up that morning and I cooked a 12-course meal. And I always loved cooking. So I cooked the food and I plated it up and I took it and I drove around and I just passed out food. And when we went down to the encampment, most of those people there know me. You know, I'm not just a person who brings them food, but I'm a person that was out there with them. I slept outside in my car with them. And it's like a fire was lit inside of me. From that day, I just would cook and I just go feed people. And I just sit down and talk with people and pray with people and listen to them.
I got some hot food for y'all today. Come on, get you a plate. It's hot right now. So go to the truck. I'll be right on back. Go to the truck. Hey, man, you want something to eat?
Whenever they talk about my food, that would just put joy in my heart because I knew that what I did was genuine. Me cooking the food was my way of showing love. They don't get treated like they're anybody. I know that because I was once homeless and I was once mistreated. I saw how people look at you and how people grab their belongings when you walk by, or when you walk by their car, they lock their doors, or how they whisper when you walk by, you know. And for people to be so cruel to people because they don't have anywhere to live, I just didn't understand that. You know, it fills me with joy and it gives me peace. And when I found peace, I found what I had been looking for all my life. And so my dream was, when I first started going to Richardson, I would tell people, I'm gonna get a food truck. I'm gonna get a food truck. So now today, I have a dream that has come true. And it restored my faith in humanity. And I can help people, and that's what I live for. I live to help others.